How's it going, Laser Bruises? I'm Bobby Sixkilla and welcome back to Birth Me Code. Now, in the last episode, Nvidia got killed. And we've got to figure out where we were up to, because some of this is all... We've seen all this before. No, am I going in with anybody here? Now that I know you're all loons like Viddy, I can't take my chances... any chances for myself. Is this cacophony related to what he was trying to tell you before dying? No. I just don't give a shit about any of you. Should you pursue this unreasonable course of action, I suggest we remove you from the group promptly and set you aside outside the rooms we shall be investigating, without a me card for the subsequent voting session. You guys can't vote without me anyway, so you'll have to hand over one sooner or later. Yura's fists were closed in anger. Looking at the others, Ankura realized she had to do something or else a fight was going to break out. In order to mediate the group, Ankura disagree with both sides. What are you doing? Trist, Bia, Ira, Ulla, all of you just stop, please. Oh, hey, Cora. Stay out of this. We got this. No, you don't. I really do not care about any of you, and I don't want to go with any of you. And Cora's voice was drowned out by the fight starting anew. She decided to scream at the top of her lungs to combat the noise. Shut up! We have no time, so I'll take the bitch, and you guys can group up. What the hell? No fucking way. It's either that or you stay out of the rooms and get off next, most likely. Nobody wants to deal with a useless brat. The girl's proposition went rather flawlessly. The entire group was glad to not have to deal with Superbia anymore, so they didn't have any issue pawning her off to Ankura. Only Ira didn't change his stance for a few moments before he reluctantly agreed to it. Very well then. I'll be going with Ira, and Ulla will be going with Ava. Are you certain of this? The team seem moderately unbalanced. I'm afraid I cannot accept a mere thoughtless endeavour. No, it's not unbalanced. You and Ava are smart, but I think I'm able to piece things better. That way, I should go with the most cognitively challenged individual in order to round it out. If you're so certain of your assumptions, very well. Yet I harbour some disagreements regarding the fact that you believe your personage to be so mentally superior to us. Yeah, me too. I'll be leaving the group now, okay? Beer, come. We'll go have a look at what Luxuria wanted us to check. Then we'll go. The rabbit-themed girl shrugged and went with the bear-themed girl, after a brief goodbye thrown to the others. Joining back with Luxuria, the two girls noticed that the smaller one had been in the process of examining the machine already. Lux, we've got to go soon to solve a room. The time is ticking down and... No, wait. Cora, look. Bia, you too. The two girls approached, curious. Luxuria was examining the 9th station, the one that belonged to the person that the two others hadn't seen. I think we can do something here. She pointed at the mechanism behind. The shotgun that had been propped up was held by a tall pillar to match the console, which one could open by applying pressure on the inside of the panel, not visible from afar. And what does that all mean? I don't know yet, but it opens. Ankura knelt beside it and took a look inside. There was machinery, cogs and belts. Clearly they were all made to hook into one another to trigger the shotgun. How it actually worked remained a mystery at a simple glance. We can mess with this one and it won't matter too much, but the others won't open. This is dangerous territory to cross though. I want to look at it too. I think it's fine if we fuck around with this stuff. Or will me roll over us all like, what up? It might be good to look at the others. Maybe they open like this one. There shouldn't be any harm in just having a look, but I think me will get mad if we break this stuff. Ankura stood back up and let Superbia have a look inside the box. While the rabbit remained there, the other girls searched the rest. As much as Ankura tried, no box opened like the first one, except for the one behind Nvidia's console. So they can open after they fire. Something doesn't feel right. Must be a problem with the mechanism. None of this should be accessible under normal circumstances. Ankura watched the box for a moment before reaching inside with a hand. She found a small switch she could flip. It was very well hidden in the very back, and unless you knew where to find it, it seems impossible to figure out its location. That's the mechanism to release the gun. This will give a very huge advantage over the others, but it'll also make it much harder to garner their trust. Either way, it's not loaded. None of them are. What happens when they fire is entirely from the helmet's side. Her thumb brushed against the switch, and after a small push of her hand, the mechanism began moving. Very quickly, the bear-themed girl pulled her arm out of the box, just as the clasps released the instrument of death. The question remained. Either Ankura took the gun, or she left it there. On one hand, the gun would give her protection, as if it was left here to act as a shield. Ankura glanced to the other two. They hadn't noticed the gun coming loose. Having it would make her a prime target. That was why, if she took it, she had to be sure of what she wanted to do with it. With the stress of the moment getting to her, Ankura... Let's take the gun. Rising back up, Ankura reached both hands forward, grabbing the shotgun. She took it off the stand and held it in both hands. One on the trigger and the other under the barrels. Cora, what the hell did you do? Superbia kept her distance to watch Cora in light apprehension, or perhaps envy, or maybe even disgust. The fact remained that Ankura now had a gun. Luxuria glanced over and recoiled in panic. Cora, don't tell me you're going to... Ankura shook her head. No, I'm just keeping it for protection. I don't want to shoot anybody. Oh, that's reassuring. It didn't feel too reassuring, but Ankura didn't feel like she had to explain herself any further. She was actually eager to move from the voting stands, since the boxes could be opened. If the person in question died, the last thing I'd want is for anyone else to grab one of the shotguns, even if they aren't loaded. Unsurprisingly, the two girls followed without any fuss. Much like Ankura, they were in a hurry to move away from where the instruments of death were being held. On the way towards Wing A, Superbia asked the two girls a peculiar question. Hey, let's say you had a shotgun and it was loaded. Who would you shoot? Huh? Her tone made it clear the question took her by surprise. Time was ticking, but the three of them came to a standstill near the entrance to Wing A. Are you sure we have time for this? Why not? Do we really have to explore a room? We've got 6 hours. 2.5 nearly went by. Votes in about 35 minutes. Well, we need those meat cards. Unless someone dies during this hour slice. Luxuria's knees shook a little. Ankura could tell that she wasn't a fan of the upcoming plan of assassination. Those guns aren't loaded anyway. Maybe Trickster? He's a little creepy. Ankura looked at Luxuria with surprise. The girl had been quite scared of the bodies earlier, and now she was answering Superbia. Though I do agree, he is a little creepy. Oh yeah, I've seen him murder everybody. So Ankura, what's it gonna be then? If you could shoot someone, who? Ankura thought about it for a moment. She figured answering either Superbia or Luxuria wouldn't be a good idea. Given the choice, she would shoot... Yeah, Trickster. I'd shoot Trickster too, I guess. That's true, he's a bit creepy, and he's too calm when around dead bodies. There was no reason to pick differently from Luxuria. She hoped this could bring them together a little closer. Superbia shrugged, as if it didn't matter to her. But you're right either way. Regardless of who you'd shoot, the guns aren't loaded. Let's just get a move on. The rabbit-themed girl gave a nod toward the open hallway. Ankura stared at Luxuria, who said nothing, though she averted her gaze. Following up on their marching order from before, Ankura took the lead. Ankura stopped in front of a closed door. This was the classroom the first group had chosen to explore. She wasn't sure if this was Era and Tristidia's room or if it was Avarisha and Gula's room. The metal plate at the top was far too high for her to look inside without jumping, and either way, it was covered by said metal plate. Even if she could reach it, it was useless. This door's closed, so there's no point sticking around. The girls set off again, finding a second door that was much like the first. The other two groups had gone for the closest ones. I wonder what kind of subject each group is learning about now. She murmured to herself, but no one answered her. The two girls must have been thinking about it too. She assumed they were too stressed out by what they might have to solve in their room. Finally, Ankura stood before the final room for this section of Wing A, and she opened the door and looked inside. It was a comfortable lounging area. She was about to walk in before she realized something was amiss. Luxuria and Superbia were gone. Fudge nuggets. Since when have they left? This is very much not the time. The door's going to lock in the next 39 seconds. A bad feeling spread through Ankura. Leaving the door aside, she retraced her steps to find the tallest and the shortest girls of the group. Solving it alone would cause more issues than problems if it would resolve. There's no helping it then. Someone's going to have to die without a voting session. Where have you gone? We have to solve this fast. In truth, the door had already locked by the time the girl had reached the entrance of Wing A again. Only silence greeted her, giving her no clues to where the others had gone. They couldn't have gone too far. There was only one way to take. Even though there were a few twists and turns to Wing A, the entirety of it had just been one long hallway. But now she was at the crossroads. Fitting for this middle area of the school, was often nicknamed the crossroads by the students as it stood between all four wings. Where did they go? Did they go back to the voting machine? Did they go back to the first hallway? Ankura wasn't sure, but ultimately... Let's go to the first hallway. Ankura figured they might have gone further. Might have further split up, so she started investigating. Once she arrived at her first destination, she saw no one. Puzzled, she waited a few minutes. If she'd be mistaken, then maybe they would come by sooner or later. After waiting for entirely far too long, Ankura went back to the crossroads. Even her patience had limits, and they had been breached. The timer in her helmet read a little fewer than 15 minutes remaining before the vote. How did so much time pass since? She wasn't sure, but the entire place seemed deserted. Did they already leave? What's going on? Nobody should be able to leave this place right now. So where the heck are they? But her thought process stopped there when she noticed a shadow from behind. She turned around to greet them. But the gunshot that followed silenced her, just as she barely caught a glimpse of that shadow. It was not one but two shadows, one wielding a shotgun, both of them somewhat tall. Everything disappeared from Ankura's vision, despite the shotguns not being loaded. Something still happened as a result of their use, but her mind was far from that now. And finally, everything went absolutely black. I wonder whose shadows those were. The most possible explanation would be Luxuria and Superbia shadows, but there are two problems with that. The first problem is obviously that both shadows were somewhat tall. That excludes Luxuria from having taken part in it, unless her shadow magically grows taller than most others. The second problem is the shotgun. Nobody taught them how to remove it unless one of them spied while it was happening. Once again, Luxuria is too short to have done that without being noticed. Superbia was definitely one of the two of them though. That means Superbia took the shotgun. But the shotgun was still there. For some reason, all the shotguns were there, even if any attempt at contact with them failed. As for the second shadow, I don't know whose it is. I can only guess. It was a little shapely, a little defined, like muscles, so maybe it was Era. If the other one's Superbia, it makes sense. Maybe his presence there caused this to happen, in which case he should have been removed. If I had another chance, I'd tell myself to watch out for Era, to focus on Era. Without Era, Superbia probably would be as defenseless as a little bunny. Looking at the consoles too closely had been a mistake too. I still can't wrap my head around the state of the shotguns. Something strange is going on here. Not that it matters to me anymore. Near endless darkness awaits. Dead. I'm assuming that means that's it for that little line there. It looked like there was different choices and stuff there, but I don't see how it can make any difference because that doesn't branch anymore. Well, we'll see. We'll have a look at the flowchart here. It's this one. Yeah. It does. Look, at least there's 3 different trusts you can do here. Does that change these other ones? See, I can't access these yet, so maybe I have to do the other ones first? Oh, here we go. I believe I walked with Gula last time, so let's walk with Trickster. At first, the horse was a little bothered that Ankura came near him to walk towards Wing A. After a few seconds, he addressed her on the subject of her visions, while the others spoke aloud, a bit further ahead. What did it feel like? Like what? The visions? Yes. Like an out-of-body experience. I don't really know what to compare it with. It was like my head was getting full of random stuff. I see. So it's not really like having psychic powers, huh? I don't think so. The two of them kept to themselves afterwards, though the resulting silence wasn't allowed to go on for very long. Wish Superbia good luck, we didn't do that last time. I hope you'll manage to make it out alive, and swiftly. Superbia finally deigned to reply right before she vanished inside. The hand making that gross gesture disappeared into the room last. The rest of the group was unconcerned by it, but Ankura felt a bit annoyed. Okay, what a bitch. There's no point even thinking of being nice to her. The group was left to its own volition following all that. Well, we can finish up this Trust 1 here, and then hopefully we'll have a way to open one of these up. Hopefully. This time we will walk with Ira. I'm pretty sure we haven't done that. The lion was trying to ignore Ankura while she followed right behind Superbia and him. She couldn't blame him. No one really wanted to associate with her. Do you want something in particular? Oh no. I just thought since we're going to group up, we should like talk a little? I'm not very good at talking, if you noticed. That's okay by me. There are some easy topics too. Hey, what are you two going on about? We're almost there anyway. Barely in the hallway, you mean? Whatever, just focus on getting there faster. The resulting silence wasn't allowed to go on for very long because someone else talked to Ankura. Yet the girl was lost in thought already. Alright, so we're going to try and unlock these trust ones here as well. Let's just jump in there. What choices have we taken? Bitched about Superbia, let's do that. The hell is going on here? Are you guys fighting it this time? Bia, seriously? You should hold off. We don't have the time for this kind of thing. Shut up, idiot. Don't get caught up into this or you're going to eat the back of my hand. No, we really don't have time. So you have to settle for right now. Bitch at us after we're free from this hellhole. The rest of the people have gone silent, and they're all at their altercation. Even Superbia understood what Ankura meant after a while, and she relented, making a movement of her hand as if to dismiss the entire conversation altogether. Okay, thanks. Who are we going to shoot if we had the choice? I guess we have to pick someone different. But she's connected to Ira, and she's connected to Gulla, so either way we're going to get in trouble. I'd probably go for Gulla. Her speech is far too distinguished not to be a sign of her involvement. His words caused a moment of silence between the girls. It was as if the two others were considering it, until Superbia shrugged, as if it didn't matter to her. Oh, go to the voting machines. We haven't done that either. There's so many different choices. Her steps brought her to the mechanisms they'd inspected earlier. There was no trace of anybody, or anything at all. That's right, something was wrong. She didn't expect to necessarily find anyone here, but as she approached the shotguns to examine the ninth one, something was amiss. The shotgun was there, of course, yet her hand was going through it, unable to touch it or pick it up. The same was happening to Nvidia's shotgun. She could touch the symbol plates, but not the firearms. Huh? It's there, but I can't touch it. What is this? What does this mean? I definitely could touch it earlier. A ghost? Can't touch it? Hand going through it? That's the sign of a ghost, isn't it? No, that doesn't make any sense. Ankura was scared by what she had witnessed. Scared enough to leave the area, back to the staircase. She waited there a few minutes to try and figure out where Luxuria and Superbia had gone, but they never appeared. Instead, she went into the first doorway, deciding they must have been there. There wasn't anyone. The girl tried to process how this was possible. She'd explored every possible area of the wing and the crossroads. By now, the timer showed there was only 10 minutes remaining. Groups would begin to emerge from their rooms soon. There was no time to lose. Where are you? And there it is. As if to answer, a loud shotgun echoed in the hallway. We died in a different place though. Came from behind. Ankura fell to the ground, body flopping over like a marionette with its strings cut. Before her vision had cut, she almost saw a figure. Almost saw what the figure looked like. It was not alone, there were two of them. And finally, everything went absolutely black. Wonder whose shadows they were. You gotta pick different choices. This time we're going to take Superbia's side. Guys, please, I'm sure she's just distressed because of what happened, you know, dead body. Justitia turned to look at her and address her point. Hey Cora, look, stay out of this. I appreciate your input, but she's been like this for 5 minutes, at least now. And we don't have the time. The clock showed 2 hours and 10 minutes had gone by. With the puzzle rooms to solve, that would be around 2 hours and 50 minutes, leaving only 10 minutes to decide on who would be voted out next. The logic didn't elude Ankura. Okay, well in that case, how about this? Lux and I want to look at the machine a little more, but we'll be quick. We'll take Bia with us. There you go. And moving on to the next choice. This time we have to pick Ira. Maybe Ira? He's the headstrong type, right? I don't know if I can trust him to do something smart later. He's got the brawn, but without the brain, that might go bad for us. I guess that makes sense, but you don't have to talk as if he doesn't have his uses. The girl flicked her wrist in slight annoyance. Mentioning him got a tiny rise out of her, huh? But you're right either way. There you go. We're gonna go do the trusts. Let's go do the trust over here. And then we might be able to do the next one as well. Alright, let's jump in. Agree with the rest. Don't take Luxuria's side. Maybe it's better to forget about it then. They're right, Lux. She looked at the smaller girl who averted her gaze. In a way, Ankura felt bad about denying her. But on the other hand, if the opportunity came again, maybe she could go back on her word. It just wasn't a good time right now. Especially because 4 could outnumber 3, but after they'd voted out all 3 others, what then? How would the final death be decided? If things turned bloody, it certainly wouldn't look good for anyone again. Exactly. I am exceedingly grateful you could understand our tormenting dilemma. Luxuria and Ankura looked at the others. Avaritia and Trickster and Invidia were all nodding their heads. Gilla didn't seem to be truly sharing their opinion, but all she could give was a slight shrug toward the two, considering she was outnumbered. I think I'm a teacher, so normally I'd talk about unity to you. Okay, we can skip ahead to the next choice now. Aha! There we go. So if we switch Ankura agreed with the rest over here, then this will open up this chunk over here. So we can just jump right into this one and... Oh, can we jump? Yeah, we can jump into that one. And we'll skip this death here. That'll be interesting. Let's jump in. We'll actually see something. Okay, it looks like we're going to be sacrificing Luxuria this time. Let's stop the waterworks. Invidia's not jumping in to protect her. We'll have this vote to put in. No comments came from anyone else, and soon everything was in place. Superbia pushed her vote in without hesitation. Next came Luxuria's, Gilla's, Tristidia's, and Avaricia's. Last was Ankura's vote. I have a bad feeling about this. For some reason, something's just off. I can't get rid of the feeling that this time the discussion was cut short. No, it didn't get cut short. It's almost like it didn't happen at all. Everyone just agreed. Hey, Corey, your vote is missing. Put it in already. Unable to nod in agreement due to the shock, and Ankura interrupted her thoughts and pushed in her vote. We're voting for Lux, right? The screens above the voting console settled onto Avaricia's symbol. It was clear what was to follow. It was her execution. Avaricia! Every shotgun but the victims released their hold, leaving the participants to witness the macabre outcome. Why her? It only took a moment for the gunshots to come. It sounded like it shot Avaricia at point-blank range, but in reality, there were no bullet holes in the helmet she wore. Time slowed down. Eventually, everything froze. Hello. Who are you? I don't know. Some say my name is Pandora. Hello then, Pandora. I think I'm dead. Are you sure? You don't look dead to me. I can't move. I mean, I can, but it's not a body. What's moving is just my mind. I guess you're dead then. But death is fine too. Ah, yeah, now that you mention it, I guess so. It's kinda hard to make out he's talking. It feels like when you talk, I'm talking too. What does it mean? Maybe you're a part of me now. I remember you. Is that so? What kind of person was I? You were a strong woman. You were a teacher who was also clueless. Even though you wanted to protect people, you also wanted to survive. Unfortunately, it looks like you've been had. Been had? How so? Someone tricked others, I think. I'm not sure right now. One thing's for sure, your death wasn't fair. Life isn't fair either. Doesn't mean that it's necessarily against nature. You're right on that one. Do you remember anything about yourself? I don't remember. I do remember my name, I think. What was your name? That can't be my name, sorry. I guess I don't know my name at all. What was your name? You really want to know? I can say it, but you'll find it funny. It's not really a woman's name, it's Marco. I know, right? You're silent because you're holding back. No, I'm silent because I'm confused. Why are you confused? Marco wasn't your name. I know what your name was. Your name was Errol Weber. Ah, that's more familiar. Why did I think Marco was my name? I don't have the answer to this question. But I have to go soon. What's going to happen to me? I don't know, I never died. Then how can you talk to me? I take that silence as you don't know either. Well, I was a teacher, and I was probably bad at it, but I'll say... Try to think about it. If I can help you, I'll have fulfilled my job. Thanks. I didn't think I'd get counselling from a fading consciousness. Indeed, help comes from the unlikeliest of places. I just hope I won't be judged for my crime. And now we must part. Dust to dust, ashes to ashes. You've surrendered your right to live. I'll now carry your memory. Thank you. Luxuria, you evil bastard. This is not looking good. Ankura came to reality momentarily. Finally, she could see the results of the previous vote. Plain as day, Avaritia's body was on the ground. And her head exploded. Much like before the helmet, the voted one war exploded. The group took great care in not stepping too close to her, since none of them wanted to be caught in the blast. All it did was char the neck some, leaving behind a splatter of disgusting head matter all over the floor. The sight alone was nauseating. We voted for Lux. Finally, Trickster spoke. He stared at the small girl from the side, watching her like a hawk. Now that reality of the situation was settling in, he seemed quite angry. Yes. I don't know what happened. This must be a trick. Pandora's trick. No, that's not possible. When we voted for Era, he was the one who got busted. Now we vote for you. When you want to sacrifice yourself and we kill Ava instead? Wait, maybe there's something wrong with the voting panels. Don't you understand? This was her plan all along. We can't trust anyone here. Somehow she rigged the machines to make it so voting for her would kill Ava instead. A small flashback came upon Ankura. She did remember putting the me cards inside of the presumed bomb case alongside Luxuria. The girl had also been investigating the consoles at that point in time. Could it be? Was it then that she modified them? I'm sure she didn't see that one coming. I sure didn't see that one coming. Things will get bad now. Did you? No, I didn't. I didn't change the portraits or rig the machines. Some of you are far more dangerous than meets the eye. I'm not going to be had by you twice in a row. Ava was a solid ally, and she might have even had the way to escape this hellhole. I'm not sure what he means by that. Probably just human mistake. Now all that is gone, and you'll be gone too. Oh my god. Fucking Trickster is going on a killing spree again. Out of nowhere, Trickster pulled out a revolver. With 2 gunshots, Luxuria fell to the ground. The horse-themed boy had gotten her straight through the helmet. That one also suddenly exploded as well, adding to the corpses in the room. The small girl was no more. Trist, why did... The entire group was staring at the exchange, but nobody except Ankura spoke. Everyone seemed far too terrified of what the prospects of having a gun pointed at them implied. Even Superbia remained silent for once. She's a threat. I'll remove every threat. First it's Lux, then it's the murderer, and finally, I'll kill the mastermind. Didn't you just say you thought Ava had the way out? If he's saying he's going to kill the mastermind though, this might not be good news. Just gotta be ready to react appropriately if he knows somehow. He's just gonna kill everyone, like he did last time. So then the murderer, Bia. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Murderer? What do you even mean? Don't play coy. Ever since Era mentioned being an accomplice, how you both wandered around together like that, I've been suspecting it. You're a cold woman, Bia. But this is where your killings end. Wait, let me talk at least. Trickster waited for a moment. Superbia was slowly gathering herself for what she had to explain. Just as it seemed like she was going to talk, she instead lunged at him. Everything happened very quickly. As soon as she landed over him, he shot her square in the heart. The bullet went so fast it pierced her entire body and came out the back to lodge itself in one of the metallic plates on the far wall. Then he shoved her off his own body. The entire fight would have been comical if it didn't have drastic outcome. After Trickster stood back up, he executed her with a shot through the helmet. Once again it exploded, leaving yet another splotch of red carnage on the ground. Superbia, just like Luxuria, lay dead right next to the consoles. She's the reason why we're all here. We're here to expiate our sins. It's the entire ideology behind naming us these things. You're still killing them all? What sense does that make, really? She was the murderer. Do you know who she killed? She killed that kid. Gula remained silent at those words. Instead, she brought her stare down to Superbia's dead body, watching it from afar. While she was thinking, Tristidia's attention was brought to Ancora. This is it then, we're finished. We're 3 survivors and 6 have been executed. Now open the way out, or you will die. Huh? So he does suspect something. That's very bad news. The way out? I don't know what you mean. She swallowed, frightened by the circumstances. None of this had been possible to see coming before. I'm not the mastermind. I don't want to die. No one fits the bill. He began walking around while talking. While he was doing so, Ancora was speed thinking of a way out of this predicament, but nothing was coming to her. There is no way out. No one fits the bill. Not a single one of us could be the mastermind. But we all have sins. We all have an involvement in this larger picture. Superbia is the murderer, but that was just the catalyst. Everyone has an involvement, except you. I have no idea what your crime is. I don't know your name, and I don't even know what you look like, little girl. I didn't even think you could organize all this, but I'm out of leads. By process of elimination, you're the only one who could be the mastermind behind all this. Gilla remained silent on the sidelines. She had the forethought of not saying a word to aggravate the situation for herself. Good plan. That's cool and all, but there's got to be a way out of this situation. I'm not the mastermind? Only you could be the mastermind. I don't know how, but you are. Now open the goddamn doors or you're next. Ancora's hands balled up into fists. She couldn't hold it back anymore. Her own rage was growing too fiercely. I am no goddamn mastermind. I'm just a girl stuck like everyone else here. Are you gonna kill me for that? I will, because if I don't, then the mastermind might still be alive. Suddenly Tristidia fell down, and a loud metallic noise rang out as a result of the collision from his body and the helmet on the floor. What the hell? Ulla, stop! Ancora took the chance. She booked it. She ran down the stairs while the gunshots fired. That was his 5th one. He only had 1 more bullet in that 6-chamber revolver. If he could only shoot Gilla or waste his shot. But Ancora's fervent chase didn't last very long. Tristidia caught up to her after she reached the intersection. Having forgotten the door wasn't open yet, she ran toward it and the puzzle pad. That was when he caught up to her. And that was when he shot her. I really thought we were going somewhere with this. I guess it was inevitable when all heck breaks loose like this. Still, I can't go yet. I think there's more to do. But do I have a choice? I suppose I don't, unless a miracle happens. Dude, we're all about miracles up in here. Alright, well, we cleared up another little piece of the flowchart. I just got to figure out how we need to open up those locks. We just obviously have to get the right combination of choices, and the locks will be able to be open. But we'll figure that out next time. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.